How do you do? I'm very happy to have this personal visit with you. Won't you be seated, please?
Master your thoughts or spend a lifetime as a follower. There is an invisible chain that binds most people, and it is not made of iron, poverty, or circumstance. It is made of unmanaged thoughts. Quiet, repetitive, unquestioned thoughts that decide direction long before action ever takes place. Most people believe they are free because no one is physically restraining them, yet every day they wake up and move according to scripts they did not consciously write. They react instead of create. They follow instead of led. And they never realize the truth that would terrify them if they did. The mind they do not control will control them. You do not drift into greatness. You drift into mediocrity. You drift into dependency. You drift into becoming a follower of trends, opinions, fears, and systems built by stronger minds. Leadership, of self first, then of circumstance, is always intentional. And the price of intention is mastery over thought. Every external condition begins as an internal agreement. Long before a person accepts a job they hate, they accept a belief about what they deserve. Long before they tolerate disrespect, they accept a story about their worth. Long before they live a small life, they accept small thinking as normal. The world does not impose limits first. The mind does. Napoleon Hill understood this with ruthless clarity. After decades of studying men who shaped industries, nations, and eras, he discovered that their greatest asset was not money, not connections, not even intelligence. It was control. Control over attention. Control over emotion. Control over belief. They chose their thoughts the way generals choose strategy, carefully, deliberately, without apology. Contrast that with the average life. Thoughts arrive uninvited and are accepted without question. Fear speaks, and it is obeyed. Doubt whispers, and it is believed. Opinions flood in from media, family, culture, and noise, and the mind absorbs them like truth. This is how followers are made, not by force, but by suggestion repeated until it feels natural. A follower is not someone without ability. A follower is someone who never learned to direct their inner world. They wait to be told what to think, how to feel, what to want, and when to move. They look outward for permission and inward for excuses. They consume more than they create. They react more than they decide. And slowly, year by year, their life begins to look like everyone else's, safe, predictable, and unfulfilled. Mastery begins the moment you notice your thoughts instead of being absorbed by them. When you realize that not every thought is truth, not every emotion is instruction, not every fear deserves attention. The mind is a tool, but only in the hands of someone disciplined enough to wield it. Otherwise, it becomes a cage. Think of Edison, alone with his ideas while the world doubted him. He could have adopted the thoughts of the crowd. It's impossible. It's impractical. You failed too many times. But he did not allow those thoughts to take root. He chose a different inner dialogue. He chose persistence over ridicule, vision over noise. And because he mastered his thoughts, he changed the world's behavior. Ford did the same. When experts told him he was wrong, he did not internalize their doubt. He understood something most never do. Opinions are cheap, but belief is priceless. Lincoln faced failure after failure, loss after loss, yet he refused to surrender his inner compass to despair. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination, yet he guarded his mental image so fiercely that reality eventually had to catch up. These men were not superhuman. They were disciplined. They did not let the outer world rewrite the inner script. Belief is the foundation of mastery. What you believe determines what thoughts you tolerate. If you believe you are capable of growth, you will question limiting ideas. If you believe you are destined for more, you will feel discomfort when settling for less. Belief acts like a filter, allowing empowering thoughts through and rejecting destructive ones. Without belief, the mind becomes a dumping ground for doubt. Clarity follows belief. When you decide who you are becoming, many thoughts lose relevance. Distraction weakens. Comparison fades. You stop measuring your progress against others and start measuring it against your own standards. Clarity is not found by thinking more. It is found by deciding more. Deciding what matters. Deciding what doesn't. Deciding what thoughts deserve space and which must be dismissed immediately. Vision sharpens that clarity into direction. Vision is not fantasy. It is disciplined imagination. It is the ability to hold a picture of the future so clearly that it influences present behavior. Vision gives the mind something constructive to focus on, something stronger than fear. Without vision, the mind wanders. With vision, it organizes. Purpose gives vision weight. Purpose is the reason you endure discomfort. It is why you rise when it would be easier to retreat. Purpose transforms effort into meaning. And when meaning is present, discipline no longer feels like sacrifice. It feels like alignment. Discipline is where mastery becomes visible. Not discipline imposed from outside, but discipline chosen from within. The discipline to monitor thoughts, to cut off negativity before it spreads, to replace complaint with curiosity, to redirect focus from problems to solutions. Discipline trains the mind to respond instead of react. Action then becomes decisive, not frantic, not scattered, intentional. You move with authority because your thoughts are no longer arguing with each other. Internal conflict drains power. Internal alignment creates it. The mastered mind does not wait for confidence. It generates it through action. Gratitude stabilizes the system. It keeps ambition from turning into desperation. It reminds you that growth is a privilege, not a punishment. Gratitude strengthens resilience because it teaches the mind to see progress even in pressure. Adaptability keeps mastery alive. The world changes, and the mastered mind changes with it, without losing direction. It learns constantly. It upgrades skills. It releases outdated beliefs. It understands that rigidity is weakness disguised as certainty. Resilience becomes inevitable. Failure no longer defines identity. It becomes feedback. Criticism becomes information. Setbacks become tests of commitment, not signals to quit. The mastered mind does not collapse under pressure. It concentrates. And as this inner structure forms, something profound happens. You stop waiting to be led. You stop asking for permission. You stop needing validation. You become steady, decisive, self-directed, because the ultimate truth is simple and unforgiving. If you do not master your thoughts, someone else will. And a life lived under the direction of another mind, no matter how comfortable, will always cost you the one thing you can never replace: your potential.